think is holding you back? What do you think is your main issue in the water when you swim?
My main issue, what would I think? I think I don't kick enough.
Yeah.
I think probably I'm probably like that too much. So I'd say my kicking's quite low. But I would say, generally I don't really know where my arms are supposed to be going, so I don't know what's the correct stroke or when I'm doing something right. I hadn't been bilateral breathing until I started with you lot, and then I thought I've got to start doing that. So that's quite new.
How do you find that? Do you find it easier on one side than the other?
Yeah, I find it easier on the right side.
Yeah. Not too bad on the other side.
No.
Okay. Some people really struggle to breathe on their weaker side.
I think my head in my left side actually feels as if the water supports it a little bit better. It's quite strange. So I know that I can feel on the left side, my head feels different in the water to my right side. It's quite weird. So I think generally it's like most things, isn't it? It's incremental increases, isn't it? And I think swimming's, there might be something you might say, like I would be amazed if today you said to me one thing and all of a sudden I could swim. I'm not thinking that.
I'd like to be able to promise that to you.
Whereas I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to try and make all the swim squats. That's my goal, to try and make all those. And the way I've broke it down in my mind is every 10 weeks we do a CSS.
Yeah.
So every time I do a CSS, then I'm going to come for a recap here, and that's going to be my pattern over the winter.
That's a very good plan.
So that's in my mind. I thought, okay, how can I do it so that we can look at my CSS improved, and then we do a follow-up, and then that to me over the winter. And so the way I look at it is, come May, I want to be thinking, okay, instead of me swimming 19 minutes now, I'd like to think I'm swimming 13 or something. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I think that's the right thing. That's the right approach. What we do today is we'll obviously look at your stroke, and we'll start with one or two main issues which we can get stuck into first of all. And then we go away, you work on those, you work with the squads, you improve your fitness, your swim fitness a bit more, you come back, go through the next process. And that's a really good way of doing it. That's what I'd like a lot of people to do, but because it costs a lot of money, then people kind of don't normally do that. They come once and then they come back in 6 months or something and whatever. But that is the ideal way of doing it, kind of 8 to 10 weeks in between, and then keep on rebooking and look for a re-review. Reviews aren't as expensive, by the way, they're a little bit cheaper. So okay, well, let's have a look.
Well, I'm quite happy to pay a couple of grand now. We had one lesson, you said that's it.
Magic. I wish. I'd be a rich man if I could do that. Swimming's just not like that. It is a longer term thing. We're looking at ingrained movement patterns and things. So that's the difficulty with it. So you do have to be patient with it. But that said, you do normally see quite rapid improvements over the first couple of months, especially if you're kind of new to it or you're back into it.
And that's why I know with the swim squad, when I saw it, I thought that's exactly what I want, because there's no way ever I'm going to go to the pool 3 times a week on my own and train that hard. Whereas I know I might go to the pool 3 times on my own and do an open water swim, or I might train with you 3 times a week and maybe go to a pool. And I think that will be enough, 3-4 times a week.
Absolutely, that will be enough. Okay, well, let's crack on then. So what I look at from poolside view, when we look at swim correction, we have there's a kind of hierarchy in terms of in order to look at things, because what we have is a kind of a chain reaction, if you like. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you lift your head up, then your legs will drop. So you may think that your low-lying legs in the water is your issue, when in actual fact that isn't the issue. That's the effect. The cause is the high head. So we always look at things in a certain order, because very often when we fix the things earlier in the chain, then it will improve things further down. We don't even need to get to those sometimes. Does that make sense?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect, yeah. So, and we start by looking at.
And you just played it forward then. I couldn't believe how high my head was at the water, and yet I think it's low.
And that's one of the beauties of video, is that you think you're doing one thing when the reality is quite different sometimes. So yes, we're looking at head position. So if we're talking about head position, I've already said that if you lift the head up, then that automatically means the legs will drop down. So as you can see there, your head is is coming out of the water. We're seeing your whole face, and your mouth is open as well, as though you're kind of not gasping for air, but you're taking a good intake of breath there. Sometimes that means you're holding your breath as well, which is another issue that we'll look at further in the footage. All right. So head position is one thing. Head position is an easy win. Okay, if we can get that head down, it will automatically improve your body positioning. All right. So it's just to show you the kind of thing we need to look for. So ideally we want to be looking at what we call Popeye breathing. So it's a similar position to you, look. So he's keeping his head low. There he is, is at the same point in the stroke as you there. He's keeping his head low, so he's extending his arm out, and he's rotating to the side and keeping that head, the ear almost on the shoulder. Now, what happens when you keep the head below is a bow wave forms around the head. And that bow wave actually comes around the top of the head and dips down here below the mouth. It creates a little pocket of space for you to breathe into. It's called Popeye because it's over the side of his mouth, like he's chewing his spinach. And that's why they call it Popeye breathing. And there's a kind of a double whammy, if you like, in terms of the benefits of that. So gets the legs up and also creates this bow wave, which means you don't have to lift the head. Lifting the head up and down makes the legs sink, but also it wipes out the bow wave. It disturbs the bow wave each time. So we can do some work on keeping your head down nice and low. So that's a one to start with there. Now we have to look at why you're lifting the head as well. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at your arm. Your arm recovery is okay. Of the water, that's fine. Spearing in, that's fine. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So your arm, your recovery over the water, it can be tidied up, but that's not a major issue at the moment. So we don't need to worry too much about that. I looked at your stroke rate. Of course, what propels you through the water is a combination of the amount of purchase you get on the water, so the amount of water you can pull, and also combined with your stroke rate. Those two things are what propel you forward. Your stroke rate is about 57 to 58, which is a little bit on the low side. So longer term, not necessarily today, but longer term, we'll look at tweaking your stroke rate. So just ramping your stroke rate up a little bit.
Should it be around?
It varies for different people, but kind of 60 to 70. So a little bit higher. The Brownlees, to give you an idea, they're kind of in the 90s. So you imagine how quick their arms are turning over. Bang, 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 bang. And also, open water, a faster stroke rate is more beneficial because it helps you deal with the chop of the waves more easily, gives you a bit more stability in the water. So head position is one. We can do some work on head position. So we have a look under the water here. What I'm now looking for here, so you take a breath. Hopefully we'll dip under the water in a second. There we go. Right, okay, right. So we're taking a breath. Now we're looking at two things here. First thing I'm seeing is this lead arm here is what provides the support in the water for you to turn to take the breath. Okay? If that lead arm starts to drop downwards, then you naturally, as you're still breathing, you naturally have to lift your head to give yourself the time to get the air in. Does that make sense? Also, pressing down on the water means pressing down on the water actually lifts the front end of the body up, which again makes the legs drop. Okay, so there's a combination of things happening here. I'm just going to carry on rolling it through, which is the thing I'm looking for, is to see when you're breathing out, to see if you're holding your breath. So I'm looking for bubbles coming out. There's some bubbles coming out there. I'll have a look on the way back as well. It doesn't look too bad actually. The reason I'm looking for breath holding is because imagine you've got all that air in your lungs. Again, it's pushing the chest up or pulling the chest up. Again, making the legs drop. Okay. So we don't want to be holding our breath in the water. I'm just going to run this through. So you breathe on the right. Hopefully you'll breathe on the right here. Here we go. Now I had a bit of a clue there. So you take a breath. There's a little streak of, there is some bubbles. There are obviously bubbles coming out there. You can see that. But what I think we'll see, let's run it through when you breathe on this side. So you've had a steady little stream of bubbles coming out. Bearing in mind your lungs can hold a lot of air. What I think you're doing is just at the last minute there. Can you see this? I'm doing that very well there. Get rid of that. Oh, wrong one. Hang on. Sorry. What I'm trying to show you here is just as you turn your head to breathe, all this, you're suddenly doing a big release of air there. I don't know if you're aware of that. You're probably not. So you're exhaling a little bit, but as you turn it to breathe, you're going. So you're breathing out and in. Breathing out the last minute, probably 75% of the air is coming out in that last second, just second, which of course means you again need more time to breathe. Right? You should be, by the time you turn to breathe, you should be fully exhaled. So you've got just time to breathe back in, and then you're back in the water again. Okay. It also that kind of holding that air in your lungs, it creates a buildup of CO2, which over time can make you kind of feel a little bit more anxious and a little bit more stressed in the water. One of the main things of making people enjoy swimming and feeling more relaxed and comfortable in the water is just kind of get them to feel. Well, just say is to make people feel more relaxed. So that build-up of CO2 is kind of is causing a bit of an issue there. Just making you feel a bit more tight and anxious. Sense. I didn't explain that very well, but so head positions and breathing first of all. Those two things are causing the legs to drop a little bit. And you can see your legs are a little bit low here. They're not too bad. You see people a lot lower legs than that. What we do have here, you said you're a footballer, not a huge amount of flexibility in your ankles. So you've got, you haven't got the most pointed toes in the world. Okay. So if you look at someone like Rebecca Adlington. What I'm talking about here is this, the feet here, super pointed. Look at that foot there, super straight. Okay, so it's acting as a paddle. It's acting as a propulsion at the back of the stroke there. The same with this. What you're seeing with your feet
they're just pointing down there.
Yeah, they're pointing down. In fact, I've got a better shot of them here. There we go. You don't have the flexibility, so they're pointing down. So not only are they not acting as little paddles at the back there, they're actually acting, they're creating resistance. So the water coming towards them is being hindered by your feet. You know, so it's not yeah. Of course, it's all about kind of hydrodynamics and getting you to move through the water with little drag as possible. So getting the body up and getting the feet so they're not hanging straight down is a couple of things that we need to work on. All right, that for me I kind of see as phase one. So we'll do some work on your breathing, getting you swimming nice and relaxed, get the head position down, and we'll do some tuning up on your kick. So what we'll look at is ballerina, which is, let me find this here. That's the ballerina drill anyway. Basically, the ballerina drill, I'll go through it with you. You're standing at the end of the pool in vertical with your toes pointed, and we just get used to you pointing your toes. It's called the ballerina drill because you hold onto the side like a ballerina holds onto the bar. And you just do it with one leg, and then we do it with two legs, and then we'll get you push off doing some torpedo drills, which is what we did in the squad the other day. So torpedo drills. So a push off, nice streamlined position. Now this streamlining position is important because we should always be trying to hold that kind of position in the water all the time. If you do that every single time you turn and push off from the end of the lane, say you swim 50 lengths, you're doing that 100 times. Okay, so you're doing it each time you're pushing off. So you're getting used to holding yourself nice and streamlined. It starts to get ingrained in your muscle memory. I'll have a chat to you about flexibility as well in general terms. If we can do some work on the flexibility in your ankles and also across your shoulders and chest, that will also help. Right. So push-offs from the wall, and then what he's doing there is he's just focusing on his kick. And there's two ways of doing that. Focus on pointing the toes, and while you're swimming, you're thinking about getting the big toes tapping each other as they go past each other. All right, it just gets you tuned in to what your feet are doing. Otherwise, you end up finding you're swimming and not really thinking about the feet. The feet just react to what the front end of the body's doing. At Swim Smooth, we don't get people going up and down the pool with a kickboard. We don't promote that. Because for us, swimming is not kicking is not so much about propulsion. It's more about balance in the stroke and not causing an issue in terms of drag.
So you're saying that most of the power comes from the rings, your own turn, eventually then you've got everything going swimming.
Ian Thorpe's got, I think it's like 17 feet or something ridiculous.
Really?
He's got huge feet, and he's a sprinter, so but he still only generates 7% of the propulsion from his feet, and he kicks like hell. Now, there's no way in a million years that you or I, or a normal age group athlete with normal sized feet, is going to get anywhere near 7%. Probably more like 1 or 2%. So it's more about just providing a nice balance to the stroke. That's all we're looking at. We just tidy it up. Right? And that's all we need to work on today. That's going to give us more than enough to get stuck into. Got half an hour to get stuck into those drills. And they're the things that are going to make the most difference to you in the short term. Right? And we can carry on looking at those in the squat as well. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Afterwards, what we'll do is I'll send you an email with links to the Swim Smooth app, with links to all the drills, because I couldn't find the ballerina drill, so I'll send you a link to that. An explanation about what I see your key points being, links to all the drills, and then also some fault fixer guides. So you don't need it so much because you come into the squads, but longer term it would be worth you looking through. All right, it'll make sense when you see it. All right, so I'll send that on to you. All right.
Yeah,
Any questions?
No, all I can say is I've got a plan.
Yeah.
And I know that by coming to the squad, you know, some weeks it'll be 3 weeks, some weeks it'll be 2, but it'll be work dependent. But I know if I do that all over the winter, and I know when we've done the CSS, and follow up then we come in here, and I know obviously when I see you in the week as well.
Yeah.
If I can't get my swimming right after all that, you know, I'm never going to do it on my own. It's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it'll be an interesting process. I mean, I've never had anyone come to me and say, right, I'm going to do that quantity of swims. People normally come once or twice a week, but to commit to that kind of level and have regular one-to-ones is quite a hell of a package. So if you don't see improvement in that time, then
No, I know I will.
be looking at me really as to, well, you know, the difficulty then, of course, is how much improvement do you expect to see in that time, and that's the unknown quantity. Some people react better than others and quicker than others, so we'll have to kind of see how that goes. But no, it sounds like a good plan. It sounds
I
like a good
mean,
plan.
you know, the triathlons I want to do